Alright, y'all, I am back at it. Like a bad habit. As you can see, I'm still just here working on this hair. I really have to get this done today, so I'm going to try to fly through it before I really get cranking though. As always, got to shout out the tunes for the day. Once again, I'm going to be bumping the album Passions by Element. It's a great producer, based out of Denver, good friend of mine, and he's really cool for letting me play his music on my streams, royalty free. You can also see my dog stretching in the background, a little snowy cameo. I think I got my other dog in my feet. Oh yeah, under my desk. Oh yeah, she really wants to say hi. Say hi, Snowy. Yeah, hi buddy. Oh, thank you, I'm working. I'm working, not right now. Hey, get down please, thank you. Alright, what up Alex Blanca, doing some 3D modeling, some animation, let me know if you got any questions. Yeah, so I think the part that scares me the most right now is the other set of sideburns. So that's where I'm gonna start. What up, Hart? What up, Debshna? Just doing some 3D animation, some modeling specifically. Let me know if you got any art or animation questions. Any questions about any of the stuff I got going on. I'm gonna go ahead. I'll probably just start with a standard brush, regular standard, not the Damien standard, and I'll go in. And kind of how I have been with the other ones, just start blocking off these shapes. Before I do that, I'm gonna grab these sideburns and maybe just inflate them and give myself a little bit more space to carve. What up, Izzy? What up, Bob Sponge? Doing some modeling, some 3D animation. Aiden, hello, hello. Let me know if you got any questions, animation, game dev, anything else. I'm an open book. I'll talk about whatever y'all want to hear about. Lakrita, Sethy Seth, welcome, welcome. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Just in here modeling some hair. Oh, we got ads! Ads! Boo! Dog, welcome. Sophia, welcome. Oh, we got a dog and a cat joining at the same time. It's about to get heated. And they gone. They in, they out. Goodbye. Lady Winter Secco, Star, welcome, welcome. I'm just modeling some hair. Just modeling some hair. Sleepy, welcome. I'm just modeling some hair. Cormally, LL, Alexis, welcome, welcome, welcome. All the new viewers just doing some game dev shenanigans. Let me know if you got any 3D modeling or animation questions. El Tigre, Chad Point, Liquid Gouda, hello, hello. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. I'm just modeling this hair right now. You can kind of see how well it's going on the other side. I just gotta replicate all this nice stuff I got going on. Over here. Couldn't be bothered. What up, what up? Bray, what up, what up? Let me know if y'all got any animation or game dev questions. Ryder Weathers, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. We just modeling this hair. And straight up, I'm happy to talk about whatever. So, I mean, I like to talk animation, I like to talk game dev, but if y'all got any questions about anything, I'm a pretty open book. So I'll be honest with y'all. We can talk about whatever, I don't even care. And y'all, please let me know if this music's too loud, if y'all can't hear me, if I'm having a hard time following along. Sometimes it can be a little weird getting these levels just right, but... Jay Exotics, welcome. God Loves All, welcome. Derek and Derek, football fan number 1. Everybody joining in, I appreciate y'all. Let me know if y'all got any questions. Any 3D modeling, any game dev, any animation questions. I've been doing all this stuff for quite some time, so I love to talk about it. Love to answer any questions y'all might have. Amaji Spark, welcome, welcome. Just doing some game dev shenanigans. Doing some 3D modeling, specifically trying to get these sideburns to look nice. Trying to get them to look how they do on the other side. Soul, welcome. Doug Galloway, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know if y'all got any questions. Want to hear me talk some shit about anything. I wonder, we're gonna have at least one other strand up in here. So right now I'm just kind of filling this out, trying to figure out what the hair wants to do. I'm not trying to force my sculpt so much. You know, all the other stuff, all the other parts I've modeled so far, I'm really forcing the material to do what I want it to do, but this hair is a lot more organic. It's a lot more just kind of trying stuff out, filling it out, seeing if it works, undoing it if it doesn't, you know. I'll go ahead. We got a bunch of fools hopping on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Since y'all are here, I just want to take a second to shout out the music I'm bumping today. This is Element. He's a great producer, good friend of mine. He lets me use his music royalty free, so we love that shit. WStream, thank you, Space Shadows. I appreciate you a ton, man. I appreciate you hopping on. I appreciate the support, kind words. Just doing some 3D modeling today. Let me know if you got any questions too about anything, game dev, animation, any of that stuff related, or anything else. I'm happy to talk about whatever, man. I don't even care. Duck, welcome. Antoine, welcome. I appreciate y'all popping in. Even if you only tune in for 2 seconds and then leave, I still appreciate it. It's good for the algorithm. Y'all can see this geometry is getting pretty wonky, pretty bad up in here, so I need to go ahead and remesh this, otherwise I'm not going to be able to sculpt on it. So I'll go ahead, remesh, and sometimes this takes a little while, so I just gotta wait for this orange bar up here to do its thing. Mario Gonzalez, welcome to the stream. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions or anything else. I'll talk about whatever. I don't even care. Right now I just gotta wait for this to load. So this is a really good time. Y'all got any good questions for me? Oh no, we're good. We're done. So we got this remesh. Now you can see this geometry is not terrible. Panda Wilson, what up, Goth Panda? I'm gonna give you a follow, man. I like you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Stay beautiful. You stay beautiful. Stay golden, Pony Boy. I appreciate you. I appreciate the kind words. What up, DB? What up, Sav? We just modeling some hair today. As you can see, this side looks pretty bad because I just started, but the other side's looking pretty good. So I just gotta trust the process. There's a bunch of different ways to do hair, and I talked about them all in my last stream, which y'all can watch on YouTube. So I could use like hair cards or like spiky hair extrusions, shit like that. I like doing this sculpted helmet hairstyle kind of thing. I just think it looks nice, and this would be like the Roman, like Greek sculpt method, kind of how you would do shit on classical sculptures. Obviously I'm trying to do like a little bit more modern hairstyle, but just trying to, the way Greek sculptures kind of curl and twist inside of each other is really the inspiration for this. Cash, what up? I see you. I appreciate you hanging around for a little bit. Let me know if you got any questions. Stormy, hello, hello. Manny, hello, hello. Let me know if you got any game dev or animation questions. I appreciate y'all popping into the stream. We modeling some hair today. Y'all can see what I'm shooting for on the rest of the head. I still got to do all this and all the back. I think these shapes are actually going to work out pretty well for me. I don't know about this little one down here. Maybe that can get away with being its own little shape down at the bottom, but I'll have to pull it out quite a bit more. So it's like a nice little spike. Yeah. Look at that. And then it kind of curls up into the other one. Hardest part when it comes to animation? Man, that's a great question. Rigging. I hate rigging. Rigging is super hard. So rigging, like after I finished this model, I would, well, I'd have to like UV unwrap it and shit first, and UV unwrapping is kind of hard, but not so bad. But yeah, rigging is the worst. Rigging is by far the worst. Super hard. And if you know how to rig, if you are a rigger, or if you want to get into animation, game dev, anything like that, especially if you're a young man who has not had life pass them by, I really, really, really recommend getting into rigging. It's really easy to find rigging jobs relative to everything else in the industry. So yeah, rigging is the short answer. But none of it's easy, man. I mean, it is not an instant gratification medium for sure. Animation takes forever. Although I guess with all the AI tools coming out, it's more and more becoming a More and more becoming an instant gratification kind of medium. But I'll tell you what, I really enjoy the process. I love to animate, I love to model, I love to sculpt and all this shit. Like, I could go into Meshy AI and just be like, make me a priest, but what's the fun in that? Where's the artistic challenge? You know what I mean? What up, Kelly Erickson? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, Brett. Welcome, everybody just joining in. Romance and CNY. Hilf Mervat. I don't even know how to say that name, but welcome, welcome, welcome. We just doing some 3D animation, game dev shenanigans. If y'all like the stream, please make sure to give me a follow, or at least throw some hearts on this shit before you leave. Amazingly talented. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a ton. I'm okay. I practice a lot, but I'm alright. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I appreciate those kind words. I do my best, and I sure love making the stuff, so it's pretty fun. And y'all, let me know if you want to see where this is headed. This is, I know, just kind of like a floating head out in the middle of nowhere, but it is going on a bigger sculpture. So if at any point anybody wants to see that, just say in the comments, hey, show us where this head's going. And I can pop over hoping that other sculpt. Because I already sculpted most everything else. And this head is like really the last big complicated piece I kind of have to worry about. I don't love this piece here. I might try to figure out something else I can do with that. I wonder, honestly, maybe if I just make these strands a little bit thicker, and then I can like pull this one out farther than this one, that might look kind of nice. Yeah, it's okay. Let's see what I got going on the other one. See if I can figure out a way to make this a little bit better. I wonder, you know what? I wonder if I just inflate some of this and make this divvy in between them a little bit less dramatic. And also, something I can do is I can turn this piece into a little curl. I think that's gonna look pretty nice. What up, Hunter? Welcome in. What up, Supreme Mike? Welcome, Nighttime V, Adita. I appreciate y'all popping in. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Whoever's dropping those hearts, I really appreciate that. Do you pluh? I don't know what pluh means, homie. I don't know what pluh means, homie. Can you elaborate on the question and I will answer it. PLUH. If anybody want to let me know what the question, and I will answer it. PLUH. If anybody I don't have any clue what this fool talking about. But I appreciate you asking a question, man. What up, Queen? Welcome to the stream. NSN Girls, Supreme Mike, everybody just joining in. I really appreciate it. Let me know if y'all got any animation, game dev questions. Want to know why I'm doing the hair this way and not some other way you've probably seen elsewhere, because there's a lot of ways to approach hair. And I wonder, you know what, maybe this piece can kind of taper off and this will be the top piece, and maybe this can kind of flow underneath it. And if I need to fix these curves later, I can. Right now I'm just trying to block out the basic forms, and I'm trying to go fast-ish because I really need to finish with this sculpt. Definitely if I'm trying to do a fade, like all this needs to be further inside the head, so I can just take my move brush and real quickly push this in closer towards the scalp. You can see I messed up some of my shapes a little bit, but I'll fix those in a second. I think this is going to be my top strand here, so I can pull this up. Whoa, there we go. And then I'm going to end up digging out underneath this, so I can kind of try to fake it like it's a tube. What up, the new Mr. Skeenan? What up, Bex? Mood up. Welcome to the stream. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. We're doing some 3D modeling today. Still don't know what the fuck pluh is. Homie asked me if I pluh and then dipped. Don't know what it means. If anybody smarter than me wants to help me understand these crazy questions the youth be asking, let me know. Alright. Yeah, that's a nice curve. Let's see here. I think this strand can terminate here. That'll be the end of it. Taper off. Actually, Nah, other way. This strand can sort of taper off up in here, and this strand can come in underneath it, like so. And then do they combine into one piece right here? They could. They sure could. I'm not sure if I like it. What up, Lena, Ohio? Welcome to the stream. We've got people popping in on YouTube. I appreciate it. Let me know if you got any questions, comments, concerns. Want to know anything more about animation or game dev or how any of this stuff works? Or if you want to know anything else about me, my life, what led me into the world of game dev and animation, man, I'm happy to talk about anything. What up, Sushi? Welcome to the stream. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Appreciate you popping by. We just modeling some hair today. If I finish modeling the hair, I'll probably get into some like hands and stuff like that, but the goal is definitely to just finish the hair. If I can do that, I'll be pretty happy. Javier Escuela, welcome, welcome. I appreciate you popping in, man. Let me know if you got any questions, any comments, any concerns, any critiques. Feel ahead. Feel good about coming in and saying, hey, this looks like shit. And I'll say, why? Why would you say that? How can I fix it? So let's see here. Looks like this little strand could maybe come out, do a little something for us. And actually this all, let me think about it. Let me think about it. Actually, maybe these two can just combine, and that'll be the end of that strand. And that actually fills in that empty space in there pretty nicely. So I'll go ahead, grab my Damien standard brush, carve some of that out. What up, Jim Rogers? Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Appreciate you popping by. Watch me model some hair. And these, I actually could probably break this into two strands. That might look pretty nice. I could like taper this off down in here, kind of make it look like it's coming in under this other one. Nope, don't like it. Don't like it. We're gonna undo it. Fatah with no reputation. Welcome, 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 welcome. Appreciate you joining the stream. Is that supposed to be like fat ass, no reputation? Or is it actually Fatah? Who knows? So fat ass, no reputation, alright. That's looking okay. I think maybe these can kind of come together a little bit earlier right here, just so it doesn't look like a bald spot as much. Grab this. This will definitely bring down. Maybe have like a little curl coming off the side of the head right there. What up, Cartcel? Welcome to the stream. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. They out. Sometimes I think I freak people out when I shout their name at them when they first come in, but that's alright. That's alright. I like to say hi to people. Just a friendly Midwesterner. Mountain Westerner at the end of the day. You can take the boy out the prairie, but you can't take the prairie out the boy, alright? Wild West till I die. Wild West till I die. Cowboy shit, alright? If you couldn't tell by the way I'm super cowboy. I hail from the great state of Wyoming. Wyoming, boy, howdy. Smooth this out a little bit. Let's see here. I might smooth all that out a little bit. Whoa. Nope, we can dig that down deeper. Yeah, it's starting to get a little thin over here, so maybe I'll just inflate this, but I think I might need to break it into more shapes. Here's what I might do instead. I think this will look a little bit better. Monkey07, what up? Welcome to the stream, man. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Appreciate you dropping in. What up, Trisha? Welcome. Period. Welcome, everybody just joining in. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. in here just sculpting some hair today, obviously. I think this can all be one little shape like that. Catalina, daughter of Jesus. Hello, hello, hello. I didn't know Jesus was out procreating like that, but that's cool. Tim Raglan 0. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Hope all is well. Ooh, ooh. I'm gonna smooth this out. I don't like what it's doing, so I'm just gonna have to redo that. What up, Mike Jimenez? Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Bow, bow, bow. Smooth all that out. I wonder if I just have like a little tiny piece that kind of comes out and fucks up that hairline a little bit. That might actually look pretty nice. That might actually look pretty nice. So I'm just gonna grab my move brush and yank on it where I think it's gonna happen. Yeah, something like that maybe can stick out. I actually think that's a good move. I think that's smart. I think that's gonna work out well for us. What up, Jeff Taraba? What up, Joss? Let me know if y'all got any animation or game dev questions. So I'm gonna bring this strand through here a little bit, and I'm gonna hollow out the space between those two strands. You can see my geometry is starting to get pretty fucked up. It's starting to get pretty bad. So I'm gonna have to remesh here soon, or I can hit Control D, add some subdivisions, see if that fixes it enough to at least keep working with it for now. These can probably come down a bit. Let me see, I might just grab the move tool, make that arc a little bit smaller. Yeah, make that curve right there just a little bit tighter. And then, you know what? I bet I can connect these two strands there and then have a piece. I'm gonna smooth this out. I don't like that at all. That's bad. What up, Elisa 3433? Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Happy to answer them. Or any questions about me, where I'm from, why I make the art that I make. 7. Alright. See how we can bring this kind of a point. We'll hollow that out. Yeah, and that's starting to look okay. I think that's about passable where I want it. Not too bad. Definitely this little strand down here needs inflated a little bit. I like the shape, and I like the way it's poking out of that main curl. I think it just needs to be a little bit thicker to read a little bit better. And I wonder, maybe I'm hollowing some of this out too much. Maybe I can keep it like still visible on the head without. Yeah, that's pretty good. That is not bad. What up, Elias Guzman? Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Appreciate you popping into the stream. Toaster Oven, hello. Let me know if you got any questions about what I'm doing, the type of shit I'm on today. So all this, I'm gonna carve out this strand a little bit more. And same thing, I might just give this little strand just like a little bit of flavor at the end, just like a little bit of a curl, so it's not so boring and pointy. I'm gonna have to dig out that space underneath it again, obviously, get rid of that. Yeah, that's starting to look kind of nice. I honestly wonder if I repeat that little shape right here, I think that's gonna help the flow of this hair a lot. So I'm just gonna grab my move brush and just pop that out a little bit. And we could even think about, let me get these closer to the head. And now that I have something like that, we can think about if there's a different way to attach these. I don't really know if there is. I don't want to mess it up because it's kind of starting to look like something I actually like. I'm going to grab this piece and just make it a little bit sharper. Kind of smooth this out. Maybe we can have a little piece that kind of comes down and like hangs over the ear a little bit. That might look kind of cool. I do got to inflate this back out and get that looking a little bit better again. And yeah, I'm going to smooth that connection out. Yeah, now it's starting to behave a little bit more how I want it to. I think that is going to read. It is still coming way too far outside of the head, so I can go ahead and grab it. What up, Lil Moon? Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. But yeah, I can just pull this shit back into the head a little bit more. Like, some of it can come out. I do definitely want to be able to see that piece right there, so I'm just going to bring some of this back out. I can maybe close some of this up too, like that. Same thing here, and I'm going to just grab this little piece, make it kind of curl out the same way the other ones are doing, maybe inflate it. It's getting a little thin down there. And we could even... I don't want to pop these too far off the head like that, just because it's going to like make some really unnecessary overhangs for the 3D printer, but yeah, I think that's cool. I think that's cool. And we can just keep on. I'm going to carve this out a little bit more. That's going to be a shape there. That can probably be the end of that strand too. That's a pretty nice strand. That's a pretty good little piece here. Sucking 4, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Whoa, I'm gonna... Yeah, something like that. That's pretty cool. What up, Bong Crazy Fry? Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. We're just doing some modeling right now. Yo, not for him. So I don't give a fuck about game dev, bro. He said, I don't give a fuck about game dev. Why do I care? I might play a game. I ain't gonna make you nerds watch it, you know? Smoke the Co. Welcome. Quinn, welcome. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Doing some crazy 3D modeling today. And they gone. Scared away another one. Lapadap, hello, hello. Let me know if you got any questions. I like your username. Rolls off the tongue pretty fun. Maybe all that could come to a point. That's starting to get a little bit wonky up in there. I'm gonna pull this towards the head a little bit, maybe inflate it. What up, Diablo88? Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Oh, anything else? I'm happy to answer. Kane1, hello, hello. User 388369720. Let me know if you got any questions. Welcome to the stream. We doing animation shenanigans. We doing game dev shenanigans. We doing just shenanigans. If you're here for the shenanigans, stick around. If you want to hear me talk about anything, let me know in the comments. I especially love any questions about what I'm working on or animation and game dev broadly, but I will be happy to talk about anything. this, yeah, so those shapes are starting to get pretty wonky, and we definitely want some other stuff going on in here. So I might just kind of grab this at random and pull it out and just kind of start seeing what looks good, you know? Just filling it out. Definitely want something that curves around the ear a little bit. Can maybe come out here. Gotta think about what we want this strand to do. I think this strand, whoosh, this crazy little shape can be finished, which means we could probably start another one up in here. Might make my brush a little bit smaller. But yeah, we can have that shape, that form, kind of poke up into that form. They follow each other pretty nicely. And then this can curve around, or maybe this can go all the way around. Make a nice little swirly, dirly swirly on the head. What up, Maxine? What up, Movement Man? Hello, hello. Let me know if y'all got any animation or game dev questions. If you like the stream, don't forget to follow. If you hate the stream, forget you ever saw me and don't mention it again. Definitely don't tell your friends how bad it sucks. What up, Mochi Mochi? What up, Allison? What up, players? Welcome to the stream. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. I'm just in here sculpting. Mochi Mochi, I appreciate the support, man. Let's see, Limo, Chemicurl, welcome, 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 welcome. Let me know if y'all got any animation or game dev questions. Whoever's throwing me those likes, I appreciate it. Those hearts are nice. If y'all want to know anything about animation, game development, art, broadly, please let me know. I'm really happy to talk about anything though. Y'all got any questions about my personal life or shit like that, I'll talk about that too. Just drop it in the comments. And if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to follow. Because I be making art on this godforsaken app all the time. Let's see here. I might need to start filling out some of this again too. So we pretty much got those sideburns down, I think. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. This little point here isn't quite flowing the way I want it to. I'm gonna grab my move brush and just yank it down a little bit. And then we can fix that curve like so. You can see this geometry in here is getting pretty fucked up. So I'm gonna have to remesh soon if I want to keep working on that part. But for now, I'm gonna just keep moving to other parts of the head and try to get this all blocked out. Try to get it all ready for a detail pass. But for now, I'm just trying to figure out all these basic forms, trying to make them look nice. What up, K? What up, Panda? What up, K-Star? Everybody joining in. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Any art questions, any life questions, I'll talk about whatever, I do not care. I am an open book, I have no pride nor shame. I like animation and I like games, that's what you need to know about me. That's a terrible shape right now. I wonder if I make this pointy, if I'll be a little bit happier with it. And honestly, maybe I can combine these two main forms. What up, Carlos? Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Yeah, we can clean up all these curves later. It's just making sure the basic shapes are all right. What is that? That's a great question. This is a head. This is a head of a screaming man. And since somebody finally asked the $1,000,000 question, what is this? I will show y'all the sculpt that this is getting popped onto. Let me go ahead and just open that shit up real quick. What up, Aaron Elijah? Y'all about to see what I'm working on in totality. Not just this floating head, but I'm going to show you the actual sculpture that it's all going onto. That's funny, Carlos asked that question and then dipped. He ain't even gonna get to see the sculpt, but you know what? The rest of y'all on here, I might as well show y'all what's up. Let's see here, let's see here, let's see here. Go find this frickin' file somewhere. Internship sculpt, there it is. There it is. This is what it's going towards. A big horror movie inspired sculpt. It's kind of it's just like the Conjuring franchise. I'm taking pieces from different pieces of the franchise. You can see I got this really scary demonic nun I sculpted. I've got this body all blocked out. I got the clothes all blocked out. Not quite finished. I'll have to finish those clothes up, obviously, but this head is going to go on this body. And that is what I'm working on. And it's all going to be 3D printed. It's going to be a nice little freestanding toy. So I've had to be strategic in the way everything stands and interacts so that it can all actually stand up without falling over. And so that it can print without running into any issues. You know what? I'm gonna actually make these two different shapes. I think that's gonna look a lot better. Grab my standard brush again. Can knock this back. So now this strand is going to be its own thing doing something. And then this can kind of come into a point back here. Can definitely be way closer to the head too. Our fade would be getting pretty short by the bottom of the head, so I need to pull all this in way closer to the scalp. Yeah, what up Sandy Moo Moo? Mate Desilov. Names on here going crazy. Pull that back out. So I'm gonna inflate this little tube-like structure here. Just give it more definition. Make sure it's catching the light. What up, user 9572953456781 3.1415926535? Welcome to the stream. I think my geometry is starting to get a little bit broken because this brush is not quite doing what I want it to, so we might be coming up on a remesh here soon. Whoever's dropping hearts, I appreciate you. That's so nice. Glad you're liking the stream. I might do something kind of weird here, where this little piece tucks under this piece, kind of the way I did on that sideburn at the beginning. And I can pull this down over it, maybe even thin it out, push this out from the back of the ear a little bit too. Cool, and now we can do a little bit more work with this shape, see what it wants to do, where it wants to go. So it'll come to a point right there, and maybe it curls around right here and gives us that curl, but nah, that leaves kind of a weird space in there. So this is definitely going to be its own shape. Maybe we can do something like that down in there. Have this kind of come out and start to make another main structure for us. And you can see I'm really kind of doing this, I mean, not necessarily aimlessly, that might not be the right word, but it's really free-flowing. I'm barely looking at references. I'm really just kind of trying to work with the hair and figure out what it wants to do instead of forcing it to do what I want to do. Which, like, the rest of this sculpt has been more of the latter. It's been all like pretty precise, pretty like anatomical. I guess clothing can be pretty flowy too, but even that I'm looking at wrinkles and stuff like that pretty frequently to figure out how I need to sculpt. But this hair, especially at this point, it's just really a flowy process. What up, Jesse? What up, Team Q Tanks? Let me know if y'all got any animation or game dev questions. Appreciate y'all popping by. Even if you only pop by for less than 2 seconds, that's good for the algorithm. That counts as a view. Let's go. Oh, we got my dogs barking. I'm gonna have to rein them in or shut them out. Wonder if my wife is home. Goodbye. See you later, dogs. A little crate. Little crazy little bastards. Are they out there barking at nothing? Probably. Probably. They could be barking at something, but odds are they're barking at nothing. Austin Bookman, hello. And actually, maybe this all can be kind of one shape. One little mass back in there. Something like that. Which means this is also going to be its own shape, more than likely. Cuban Mafia, what up? Thanks for joining in. Please don't tell your boss, I still owe him money. How do I want all this to go from here? It kind of needs to start flowing down towards the bottom of the hair at some point, and we're getting pretty close. So maybe I can start to think about doing some shit like that. And we'll see. If I hate it, I'll get rid of it. No harm, no foul. Who cares? Yeah, and probably all this is going to have to get pushed in towards the head. I could do it, some of it now. I just want to make sure I leave myself space to sculpt too before I start to worry about the length of the hair, which is just going to be entirely determined by how much I push it into the scalp. What up, Viola? Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. King J, Toxie Cheap Man, welcome, welcome, welcome. He's doing some 3D modeling. Some game dev shenanigans, we're getting up to some weird shit. Jonathan Finesca, hello. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Appreciate y'all popping by the stream. How we doing on our other apps? Yeah, honestly, this can all just flow right alongside that other one.
Welcome X_Fox_X15X.
Oh, we got somebody in Twitch. Hello, hello. Welcome H to the stream.
Welcome X_Fox_X15X.
Starting to come together. Yo, it's Tony. Oh, what up, Tony? On Twitch too? My dude. Appreciate you popping by. What up, Swift? Thanks for joining on. Still just sculpting this hair. Gonna be the death of me. Once I finish this hair, everything's gonna go really fast. It's gonna be a lot of just putting shit together at that point. Eglepsion, Brock, let me know if you got any animation or game dev, any modeling questions. Riley XO85, appreciate y'all popping in. Let me know if you want to know what I'm doing, why I'm doing shit the way I'm doing it, how I got into animation and game dev in the first place. Anything else, I'm happy to talk about whatever. I'm happy to talk about whatever. I'm an open book, I don't know if I like what these shapes are doing. Maybe if I just throw a little curve in this, I'll like it a little bit more and have this flare out at the end. And then we're gonna need definitely like one more little shape in here. And that can just be something like this. Pull it off so it makes actually like a curl, but grab my damn standard, start digging some of this shit out, make it a little nicer. Jim Jam, Cuban Mafia, welcome back. Still at it, still on the same shit, still just trying to knock this hair out. Geometry's getting pretty bad down here, so I might want to think about a remesh here soon, but we shall see. Grab my damn standard. Here's my regular standard, come in here. Yeah, and all that has to come way closer to the scalp. Way in here. It should hypothetically be getting just like gradually thinner towards the bottom of the head. I just need to make sure I still have room to sculpt too. And the bottom of the hair I actually probably like can't finish until I stick this head back on the body and can actually like see how it's gonna hang over the neck. But you know what? I don't think this piece should go all the way to the bottom of the hair. I think it can taper out somewhere. And instead, maybe this piece branches out and curves around it. And then this little strand here can kind of insert down into there. And that's about where we'll taper off. Right now I'm keeping everything pretty crude, pretty loose. So I'm gonna go in and clean up all this when I do a detail pass. But for now I just gotta make sure all these big tube-like forms flow in and out of each other the way I want them to. If I get that right, then the detail pass is gonna be really easy, really fast. Drag this around. Yeah, and maybe this just terminates right in here. Well, we can see here. Maybe we bring that little curly all the way down. Start digging out in between these. I'll grab my damn standard. Just start digging some of this out a little bit more. And I can also hold down Alt and pull it up, so we're getting both. I should wait to do stuff like that a little bit more until I get to the detail pass, because I can I'll just show y'all now in case you see this now and never again. If I hold Alt with the damn standard, that's like a really nice way to kind of block out hair strands. So after I get all these basic tube forms down, then I'll come through and just mark out all of it and make it catch the light in some more little divots and crevices, just to make it feel a little bit more natural and also a little bit more volumetric. We're faking it like it's strands of hair, even though it's actually just a plastic sculpture. Light Yagami, welcome. I got a big old Light Yagami tattoo on my knee. I actually have L, I don't have Light, but Death Note tattoo is what I meant to say. Mona Box, Elisa, welcome. Let me know if y'all got any animation, game dev, art questions. Appreciate y'all popping by. Hello, Dominic. How you doing, man? Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions, art questions, anything. Let me know if you want to know anything about who I am or what I do or what I'm working on. I appreciate y'all popping by. Carlos, welcome back. Desi, welcome back. Or welcome for the first time, I should say. And if y'all like what y'all are seeing, want to see a bunch more crazy game dev, animation shenanigans, make sure you hit that follow button. Alright, that's my necessary plug. I hate to bother y'all with that boring nonsense, but I do appreciate the follows, so you know. It's just why am I doing this? Low key, this one I'm getting paid for it. This is yeah, I can't say a whole lot more than that because I don't want to get in trouble with my employer, but this is for an internship that I'm a part of. So that's why I'm doing this one. That's also why this isn't actually a game dev or animation ready piece. That's why I'm doing 3D modeling instead. I normally don't do like toy design. Almost always it's game dev and animation. But yeah, and a really simpler answer why I'm doing this is because I love it, man. I love to 3D model. So anytime I have a chance to get paid to 3D model, it's like the best thing ever. I gotta do, at the beginning of the summer, I gotta do some 3D modeling for this music festival in the town where I live. And that was really cool, because we printed those suckers out at like, they were like up to here on me, and I'm a pretty tall guy, so they were like 4-foot tall sculptures, and we had to like print them out in sections and then like glue them together later. That was pretty cool. But yeah, why am I doing this? I don't know, because I like to suffer. Because painting was too much immediate gratification, so I had to do something that takes 55 hours just to sculpt the hair. Samba Denopsis, welcome. Let me know if you got any animation, game dev questions, anything of the sort. Appreciate you popping by. And some of y'all have been around for a while. I appreciate y'all sticking around, checking out the stream. If at any point someone new comes in and wants to see where this is all headed, what this is leading up to, let me know. But those of you who have already seen the final piece, I don't want to bore you to death, so. And I also, as much as I can, need to not get too sidetracked, because I do need to finish this kinda soon here. Definitely pushing up against my deadline a little bit, but we'll be alright. We'll be alright. Why are you doing this? Such an interesting question. I've never got that one before. So I like to model, bro. I don't know. What do you want me to say? He's also super unsatisfied with my answer. Left as soon as I said I was getting paid for it. It's like, I hate you. Money, ugh, soulless. Alright, I think I can stop wrestling with those for a second and start to think about some of my other main forms. Right in here should technically be kind of a cowlick, which should be like my biggest, most dramatic swirl for the way I'm sculpting this hair. What up, Ramon Morales? Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. I might actually make this kind of go up into that divot too. Make it kind of like a little, like a village hidden in the leaves looking ass symbol up here. And I'm gonna just inflate this. It's pretty pointy right now, so I'm gonna just smooth that out a little bit. Cool. And then yeah, I want to do a real big swirly on this side of the head, cheated to the right a little bit, where that cowlick would kind of fall naturally. So I think I'm not really taking that curve at the right angle, so I'll just smooth that out, get rid of it, and we can take it further down so it kind of sits along that curve. And now I gotta sit kind of weird to get this to curl the way I want it to. Gotta position my arm kind of strangely. I could also rotate my canvas around, but if I just adjust my elbow and shoulder instead of my canvas, I can hopefully kind of get this whole curl in one good, solid, fluid motion like that. I think I made that a little bit too fat, so I'm gonna knock it back and see if I can actually keep that like little whirly-durly motion going in underneath, like another small loop, like that. Just kind of. And that's just going to be a really fun shape to look at if you're like looking at this character's head after he's printed. I can go out and dig it all out a little bit more later once I am certain that I like the shape. This should stick out more than everything else. So I'm just going to grab all that and kind of pull it out. Yeah, now that's kind of the cowlick. Normally the cowlick would actually kind of fall up the head a little bit too. So maybe I'll kind of just push it and cheat it a little bit more that way. I really like the shapes I have going on up here, so I don't really want to disrupt any of that, but maybe I can just, yeah, kind of just force all this up more towards that part of the head. I can fix these curves here in a little bit if I need to. Looks like my little swirl got a little bit screwed up. 33 Abel, thanks for popping in, man. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. I see you, I see you. Or any other questions. Like, why are you doing this? Toaster oven, welcome back, boy. Alright, we can start carving this back out again. Brock, man, I see you up there. I appreciate you hanging out. And as always, I'm happy to talk about anything. It doesn't just have to be animation, game dev stuff, but ask me a game dev question and watch me spaz out for an hour, though, if you want. Alma, welcome. I don't know if I forgot to tell you welcome, but welcome. I appreciate you. Alma, if I'm not mistaken, es Espanol for soul. So that's cool. We got a lot of soul, a lot of spirit up in here. Cuban Mafia, welcome back for like the 15th time, homie. Feel free to stick in for a while if you want, or leave again. I don't really care. I mean, it would be nice if you stayed, but... Alright, let's see here. Probably ought to wash my mouth. Don't wanna end up in hot water with the Cuban Mafia. That seems... bad news bears, huh? Oh, and maybe that just becomes part of the vortex. Yeah. This is all getting pretty flat. Let me inflate that out. Wow, that was a horrible sound at the end of that song. I don't want to throw shade. I love the music I'm listening to. Love the guy that makes it, but those little beeping sounds at the end about gave me a stroke. About gave me a seizure. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, now we just have to do this frickin' quadrant of the head. And then we about done with the hair. Well, and then a detail pass, actually. And all this up here, this like cinnamon roll thing I got going on, I want it to be a lot more like tubed. Like how everything else has kind of a tube shape. I don't want it to get all like flat and pokey at the top. So I'm just gonna inflate this. And then to fake the underside of those tubes, I will grab my standard brush and just kind of dig out underneath like that. And now you can see, even though it's not actually a tube, it's all just one big piece of hair. The light, when it's printed, or if it was like in a game or anything, would still read as though it's hitting tubes and wrapping around that form. The only thing I gotta be careful with doing this is like if the bottom side of that tube is like so extreme, it might make the printer need some more supports. And little teeny tiny supports like that are like really hard to grind and break and sand out. Also, you can see this geometry is getting pretty disgusting, and I'm already close to 1,000,000 quads, so very soon I'm gonna have to remesh it. Angry welcome to the stream. Toaster Oven, welcome back again, bro. Appreciate you popping in and out. Glad I can hold your attention for 2 to 3 seconds at a time. Alright, yeah, I do. Well, maybe instead of remeshing, I'll just come over and start focusing on the other side of the head first. And we can wait to remesh until we do a little bit more of this. So this looks like it definitely is going to want to be a pointed shape right there. How far around this shape do we want to have it follow is a question worth asking. And I'm actually not sure how much this is gonna interfere with the stuff that's like coming off the sideburns. So I might actually smooth this out for now and just kind of ignore it. I do know for certain that this pointed out shape here is gonna stay. Like, I really like the way that's flowing into the other part of the head. So I'm gonna just dig this out and make that mass a little bit more extreme. Yeah, and it'll kind of flow like that. And then this tube, I mean, I know I just said I don't actually know if it's going to stay, so I'm not going to spend too much time, but I do think it would kind of follow that curve. Yeah! What up, Caden Poo 6969? Nice username. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Or any other questions. Hey, what's all that weird shit on your wall? What's the weirdest thing you have on your desk? That's a question I'm always waiting for. So if you wanna see some weird shit, feel free to drop that one in the comments. Let's see here. Enchilada Annihilator. For some reason, I feel like you and I would get along. Been known to annihilate an enchilada or two in my day. Yeah, alright. Yep. We gotta come down to the, come down to this part around the hair, and we'll get back to work on this side of things. I think this looks really nice as like a nice sharp shape the way I already kind of have it, so I'm not going to extend that strand out anymore, but I will have one that comes right up underneath it like so, and then this, let me think about it. What up, G? Let me know if you got any questions, man. Oh, he out. Scared him away. He said, bitch, don't say my name on the stream. Don't say my one-letter username on your stream, boy. Maybe that just tapers out there. And tapers out there. Maybe that's just all one real small little mass. Dig that out. Oh, but this kind of wants to attach to that shape if I do that, and I don't want it to, so never mind. Embarrassing Jake, welcome. Let me know if you want to embarrass Jake. Leave some embarrassing comments about Jake in the chat. So yeah, we just gotta dig all this out. And then, yeah, that can kind of swirl in around it. Inflate that piece there. Kind of dig this out with my Damien standard. Oh yeah, that's all looking really nice. But now I don't know if I like this shape anymore. So maybe this could actually come around and kind of form the next little strand behind the ears and pull it out a little bit. Dig it out with my standard brush. Let's get something like that going. And I wonder, maybe I can do something like this. I do think I'm gonna have to pull all this in closer to the head a little bit, which I can do now that I've already started sculpting it out, getting it pretty close where I want it. What up, Carpezi? Let me know if you got any questions, game dev, animation, anything else. I'm here for it. Someone just said, yo, it's Tony, and dipped. Who is Tony? No one knows. Is it my friend Tony Simmons? It could be. Is it any other Tony on Earth? It could also be. Make this pointier and make this curve a little nicer. I think I like that shape quite a bit. What if I make this like a little like lightning bolt shape right there? I think that could look pretty cool. And kind of get this all to be one strand a little bit. The only problem with that is I don't like what I've got going on in here, so I'm not going to do that. I changed my mind. I changed my mind. I hated it. I hated it. I didn't like it. I'm going to instead, I'll pull this curve in here and it can taper out in there. Knock all this back again. Keep track of stuff. Try to make sure I don't lose any of my other forms that I've worked so hard to sculpt. Abby, welcome to the stream. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. I wonder... Yeah, I think this is all starting to come together. And this actually, what if this comes to a point and then tapers off down in there instead? How does that look? And that can kind of be the end of that shape. I need to inflate this back out though, keep it nice and tubey. Smooth that out a little bit more of a taper. Yeah, I like that shape a lot. I do think it needs to be closer to that other curve we got going on right there. You can see my geometry is starting to get real nasty. So now we got nasty geometry all up in here. We got some nasty geometry down in here. We got some nasty geometry over here, which means I think it's time for a remesh. Which means... Oh, I'm gonna save first actually too, because I ain't been saving at all. I ain't saved once. The fuck am I doing? Good? Yeah, saved. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead, take a second to remesh. Wow, this is remeshing. This is a really good chance for anybody watching to ask any questions they might have. So, if y'all are curious about art or game dev or animation or life in Savannah, Georgia, or life in Wyoming, or just life broadly, the meaning, let me know. And if not, I'm just gonna wait for this little orange bar at the top of my screen. Cuban Mafia, welcome back for the 45th time, homie. What you on, fool? Ask me a question, come on. Oh, this dude just keeps popping in, popping out. Are you interested in the stream, or aren't you, my friend? Or aren't you? Be honest, I kind of wonder if it counts as a new view every time he leaves and comes back. That'd be kind of nice, huh? That'd be kind of nice, huh? Feed the algorithm gods. All right, let me grab my standard tool again. Just kind of dig this swirl out. Very nice. Very nice. I can inflate this quite a bit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. yeah, we are almost there. We are almost ready for detail pass. Just gotta keep on keeping on. Go ahead, carve this out a little bit. And everything is starting to link up. Let me get a I think I might. Let me see how this looks. I think I might bring this shape all the way down and around, and it can make another point that kind of sticks out right there. And then it'll bend into another shape, and I can have that go join up with any other part of the head that I need it to. I think that's going to be a good approach. Davion, hello. Asis? Asis, hello. Alex Ronaldo, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. And if not, if you're just here for 2 seconds and then gone, thanks for the view. Thanks for the view. Let the TikTok overlords know that this shit is worth watching, even if only for a few seconds. Cool. Yeah, that's fucking sweet. That's gonna work out really well. Sometimes I have absolutely no confidence in my artistic decision making. Sometimes. Ooh, uh-oh, did we crash? Uh-oh! Nah, we good. It's alive. It's alive! I thought for sure it just crashed. Which would have been a bummer, but at least I just saved. Whoops. That's the wrong modifier. Yeah, that is sweet. That's pretty sweet.
Welcome Art Tamerindai.
Who'd that be? Oh, that's spam. The fuck off my Twitch, spam. I don't care. I do not care about your spam. I don't really here actually. I think I can end this shape. Whoops, make that a little bit smaller. I think in that shape. Down in here. Maybe I do a curl like that, but then also have it break off like that and taper out into those other shapes. Get it right up under there. And some of these anywhere, I think it like needs to be closer at the end. I'll just come through with a pinch brush when I'm doing my detailed pass and pull the like peaks closer together or whatever I need to do. Whoa! Geometry's starting to get a little wonky. Geometry's starting to get a little wonky. So I can either add some subdivs or think about remeshing again. For now, I'm just gonna add some subdivs. See if I can get this to behave a little bit more the way I need it to. Still no, really. Dang, yeah. So it's gonna be a remeshing moment here soon. And I can make that curve a little nicer, at least. Oh yeah, that geometry is super broken. Look at that. Serohanta, welcome. Thank you for joining in. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Alright. Alright. Let's see here. That definitely needs this like tubular shape back. Fix that arc. Yeah. Look how nice that is. All this needs to get way dug out. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it with the geometry I have right now, but let me take a look. That actually did better than I thought. Again, I just want to fake it so that when the light hits it, it looks like it's wrapping around the tubes. And not just wrapping around the top and then coming straight down like a wall, like what this has going on right now. And this one, I might not be able to fix this one right now. I could also like mask this out real quick, and then come in and, nope, I'm gonna grab a different brush actually and see if I can get in there a little bit tighter. Oh yeah, no, I just don't think I have enough geometry, to be honest with you. That kind of worked, but yeah, you can see it's getting pretty wonky. Oh yeah, like that. Look at that. Gross. So, inflate this. Yeah, get those nice and close. Like same thing over here, like, I mean I can probably worry about this stuff on my detail pass, but like this curve should be way closer to this curve. Right. And that's just like those areas where those tubes get really close and it gets really like dark down in between them. It's just gonna look really nice when it's printed. It's just gonna add a lot of the illusion of depth to this hair. Yeah, like that. I mean, I know I've said like 5 times I need to wait till my detail pass, but that's what I'm gonna end up doing. Just like grabbing this pinch brush and pinching some of these together. Yeah, that's cool. That is sweet. That is dope. Oh, just we're getting so close. We're almost done with this damn hair. Oh, need some water. Yeah, we're getting really close. Just this last little section in here. And it looks like I can maybe extend this piece and have that look pretty nice. Dominic, welcome back. Hello, hello. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Goodbye. Let's see here. Whoa. Joe Nobody, let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions, any art questions, want to know what the fuck I'm working on, or why, or how, to what end. Nah, I don't like that. I don't like that. And in fact, I'm gonna smooth some of this out, because I think we're gonna have to come back around in there. Alvaro Marodi, let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Feel free to drop a follow if you like the stream. I'll be making all kinds of art all the time. Geometry is starting to get a little wonky. Might be getting close to needing another remesh. I'm going to, let's think about this next little strand here. Maybe this could rotate around in here. And these two could just, this could like insert into that one, perhaps. I think all this needs to come in closer to the head. I think that hair is a little bit too long for being that far down the head. So we just gotta pull all this crap in towards the scalp to get it to look right. Cuban Mafia, welcome back for the umpteenth time. Hope you're doing well. Whoa! That's terrible. It was so bad. Now let's see, we have point, point, point. So maybe this can actually, instead of coming to a point here, maybe I'll have it curve around. It can be just a little bit different shape, add some variation to the way I'm sculpting this hair. Just dig these shapes out. Like I said, this can kind of taper down underneath this new strand I got going on. Victor Lopez, what up, man? Thanks for joining in. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions, or want to know anything else about the dirty hippie on your screen. Wow! Yeah, we can inflate this out so it kind of looks like it's above that other one. Dig that out a little bit. Geometry's getting pretty bad, so we'll see how much I can get away with. What the hell is this music? Is this still my homie? This is not. Whoops. Whoops, copyright issues. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, this is Unreleased Incantations and Formulae by Potions. Potions, please don't sue me. I did not realize it switched over. Let's throw on another element track. Elements, all beings connected. This is what we're bumping. As not to get copyrighted. Cool. Cool. We good, we back. The Cobb. Want to crouch? Welcome. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Little Moon, hello. Let me know if you got any questions about this art that I'm making. Whoever's dropping those hearts, I appreciate it a ton. You are my hero. If you like watching me make art and animation like these shenanigans we got going on, consider giving me a follow. Every follow is greatly appreciated. And maybe this will be the end of these. This little part that goes along, but yeah. Blake's World, howdy, Jimmy Cock. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, Jimmy Cock. You little rapscallions and your freaking usernames, man. Sport Gaming, let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Want to know what's going on with this sculpt? The what, the why of it all. You know what? Maybe this can actually be like a counter form. Like that. Do I like that? Fuck no, I don't. Terrible. That was just terrible. It was bad. And all this, that should not be like going underneath the head like that. We should still be able to see some of that. And we could even like push this arc right up against this one. That'll give us a better idea how it's gonna look when it's all said and done. I actually do think I can get away with putting like the tip of the hair down here too. That big redneck 6'9", what up, boy? Welcome to the stream. Let me know if you got any questions about animation and game dev. All right. I think that'll work. I do think the hair needs to follow the ears a little bit better than what I got going on, so I can just grab my move brush and yank all that shit back down towards the ears. Yeah, and that's quite a bit better. We getting close. We getting close. This, I don't like this at all. I'm gonna go ahead. I might have pulled it out too far earlier. This want to make sure those curves are nice and smooth. Whoops. Nico Christian, welcome. Sculpting's a key. Welcome, welcome. Let me know if y'all got any questions, animation, game dev, anything of the sorts. Yeah, I think I might have to manually try to inflate some of this, get it a little bit nicer. This we can push down a bit, it looks like. And then yeah, I can grab my standard brush and dig some of that out again. Fake that tube shape. Just trying to get underneath there. I didn't really mean to destroy that curve so much, so I'll come back in and inflate that a little bit, maybe even just grab it and move it. Why not? Alright. Got that nice little cinnamon roll cowlick right on the back of the head. Whew, god dang, y'all, we getting close. We getting close, which is good, because I'm about sick of sculpting hair. Shit takes forever. Might pull all this in closer to the scalp. I don't know if it needs to be so long back here. So that's all pretty nice. This, I might just go ahead and make like a little like double little twirl down here, and maybe this one can like curve the other way. We'll see. We'll see how that looks here in a second. Let me just kind of yank these curves the way I want them to be. Dig some of that out. Maybe inflate it a little bit. Push that in too so we get a nice tight Y shape. Yeah. Not too bad, not too bad. Go ahead and inflate this back out. I definitely think I'm getting pretty close to needing a remesh. You can see how stretched and nasty all these quads are getting in here. It's actually not terrible, but it's not good. I'm gonna pinch down the tip of that. Yeah, just make it nice and sharp. And maybe it kind of follows like that. Whoops. Take that back down. Take that back down. Sweet, that hair is starting to look pretty cool. What up, Javari? What up, Lori? Let me know if y'all got any animation or game dev questions. We are almost through sculpting this hair. We're getting pretty close. Getting pretty close. Pretty close. Yeah, I do think I'm gonna have to remesh to keep working with this. Faux show. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and save. And then I'll open up my Z remesher. I got adapt turned all the way up. I got my count set to 100. Going to the same amount of polygons. And I just gotta wait for this little orange bar up top to finish. So if anybody has any questions, now is a good time to ask them. I'll let y'all know. I see you watching. I appreciate you tuning in for a little bit. If you got any animation or game dev questions, let me know. I'm up. Oh, still waiting. Still just waiting for this to load. Right now I'm just remeshing my quad so I can actually keep on sculpting. Johnny, welcome. We got some animation, game dev shenanigans going on. Alright, it looks like it finished. So we went down from 800,000 quads back down to 200,000, and you can see everything looks a lot nicer. So we're ready to keep on sculpting. Brock, welcome back, homie. Appreciate you popping in. We getting pretty close to finishing up this hair. Just gotta figure out how all this is gonna come together down in here. And then we can do a detail pass. And then we can slap this fucker on top of the rest of the sculpt. Tita Syrup, Steve Inspired Art, welcome, welcome, welcome. Adara, everybody just joining in. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. We at this shit for a while is lit. I'm just thinking here. I think this point here can come right down into that crevice. Right like that. I can smooth that out a little bit. And then I'm gonna smooth this out. I actually think this whole thing, I'm gonna smooth all that out actually. And I think this curve can kind of come around right up against that form, right there, and then loop back around into like a little swirly. My geometry's pretty tight right there, so it's kind of having a hard time doing what I wanted to. I might just add some subdivs. I'll hit Control D, give myself some more polygons to work with. So I just went from, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't do that, 864,000 to 3.5 million squares to work with, which is a lot for a piece of hair. A lot for a single piece of hair. But I'll obviously end up remeshing it and getting my quad count back down at the end. It doesn't really matter because it's going to be 3D printed and not used in animation or a game. But I am considering unwrapping it and painting it as if it were going to go into a film or game. And if I do that, I'll definitely want to make sure I have a workable quad count. Something that isn't 3.5 million for just one fucking object, just one little piece of hair. I also, part of the problem is we have the whole backside, so like all that crap is getting counted towards my quads. And that's all gonna end up getting booleaned away. So really I'm probably at like half the quads right now that this is reading. So I'm probably at like 1.75 million or something like that, but yeah, let's see here. So I kind of have two big options for what I can do right in here in this little part of the hair. I can either make another point that kind of sits in it like that, or I can make a curve that follows it like that and then does something else. And I'm actually not sure which one I want. I could also, actually, third option, is I do a curve like right here that pokes out into this. I guess that's kind of the same thing actually as the first option. What up, Jonesy, Edgar Soto? Let me know if y'all got any animation or game dev questions. Any art questions? Want to know where I'm from, why I do what I do, anything like that? I don't know. I'm talking to hear myself speak anyways. Y'all might as well ask some questions. And if not, I just appreciate you popping in the stream. Watch me sculpt this hair for a little bit. I don't think that's going to be the right option. I think having a really tight curl that follows this is going to look a lot better. And then maybe I can have a different piece that like pokes into this one, but yeah. Kenyel Utis, let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Appreciate you popping by for a spell. This. Do we want to have one more curl down here, or can this kind of start to be the bottom of the head? I think this can kind of start to be the bottom of the hair. Dig this out. Start to get something like this. I actually don't know if we want that to recede all the way into the head there. We might keep some of that back. Just a reminder that tunes are by L-Mint. L-M-I-N-T. Appreciate him letting me do this shit without any royalties. That is very cool. So I don't just have to use that default bullshit 12 hours whatever on YouTube. Kylie Jocelyn DeSille, taken by Killer Tasha's boyfriend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know if y'all got any questions. How can I get this terrible shape into something not so terrible? Maybe this comes down to a point down here. And all of this, obviously, is going to get pulled further into the head. It's not going to be quite so long. But I'm debating, I might kind of keep some of that thickness for now until I know what I'm going to do with the neck. I was talking earlier about popping this head onto the rest of the sculpt that I've already done once I finish the hair, but I actually need to come in and do an eyelids pass as well before this is ready to combine with everything else I got going on. Which, if you're just joining in and you want to see the main sculpt that this head is going to be on, just let me know in the comments and I'll pop over to that other file for a second. Show y'all where this is headed. I'm gonna pinch this down here, yeah, and have it come into a nice point like that. I'm gonna dig this back out. And maybe, just maybe, I keep this shape going. And then kind of just loop it around, and that's how it'll end. And maybe I pull it down a little bit. What? Definitely, like I said, definitely has to get pulled into the head, and maybe I'll just do it now a little bit. Yeah, no, that's actually not going to be right, because it's all going to have to like sit on top of the neck. And I maybe, honestly, I maybe just save the rest of the hair for when this guy actually has a neck. Mona Box, welcome back. Thanks for popping by. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Or any art questions, sculpture questions, drawing questions. I do kind of like the way this shape's coming together. Figuring out how to make it flow into the rest of this is a bit of a puzzle. I wonder, I'm just kind of start bringing it up towards here. I wonder if I have one of these swirly shapes break out again. Like maybe my main little cowlick cinnamon roll shape I got going on can fan out right there. And maybe it even does like another like half curl before it comes back out. I think that could look nice, and that's not a shape we have repeated too much anywhere else. And please, 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 y'all. If y'all like the stream, please don't forget to give me a follow. Gifts and shit, I don't really care about that. It's nice, helps me monetize, but I'm more here to build community. I like when I see the same faces popping up on my streams. And if not, whatever. If you want to just watch this one stream and lose me to the ether of the TikTok algorithm forever, that's cool too. I just appreciate you popping on for a little bit, watching me do some sculpting. That can all get dug out a little bit more. That can all get dug out a little bit more. Smooth all that out. It's starting to come together. This, I think this needs to be the end of this piece, and I think it needs to not be so sharp like that. Yeah, I want that to be more of the angle, I think. Maybe not actually, that looked kind of bad. So maybe what I'll do instead, let's pinch these together a little bit and bring everything so that it's all like super close together in there. And then I can get a couple more shapes down in there to make that back hairline. Definitely though, these should be pointing like more down. Yeah, something like that I think would look pretty good. Probably am gonna need a remesh here soon. And definitely that all can get inflated. Give a little more volume to it. Let's go ahead and inflate all this and then kind of come in with my standard brush and dig out the bottom, cheat some of the tube shapes I'm going for. Something like that. Yeah, what up, Danielle? Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Do I want these shapes to connect? Is a legitimate question. I don't think so. I think instead this can taper off down in here. And this would actually be still quite a bit bulkier through here. You can see my quads are starting to get pretty icky again, so it might be about time for another remesh. We're starting to get to the point where I can't avoid remeshing by working on other parts because it's all kind of starting to come together. I'm gonna go ahead and drag out the next piece of this hairline. God, and that can all be so much closer to the skull. Get something down there going. And maybe the real Sakul, welcome. Let me know if you got any questions about what I got going on. Game dev, animation, 3D modeling, 3D entertainment, carpentry. Let me know if you got any carpentry questions. I do that sometimes by day. Animation, game dev, and carpentry. That's what we can talk about. That's terrible. Also my brush is way too big. Let's just turn it down a little bit. That's gonna get dug out for sure. Oh, it's inflate right now. Yep, that's all gonna get dug out. And I maybe can like pull this down a little bit. Make sure it's keeping its curve. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. I'm so ready to be done with this hair. I'm so ready to be done with this hair. Let's go. Wah, wah, wah. This. Let's see what all we need to do here. This ends in a point, so I don't know if I want to have another point that close to it. So what I might do instead is make a curve right there to sit inside everything else I got going on. So this can curve around through all of that. Right in there. And maybe I'll have a little piece that dips off and tapers out in here. That could look nice. It's going to be actually a much slower taper than that. Would come right up underneath that other shit. I can smooth this out and then I'll inflate these a little bit. Don't want to get that overlapping geometry though, that's a problem. Might be about time for a remesh. Might also just be something where I need to sculpt a little bit more carefully than what I'm doing. Yeah, like maybe I can dig out underneath these shapes quite a bit before I try to pull that other shape up underneath. So let's like dig out a nice little hole under there, and then I can have that sort of taper off underneath the hole. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna need a remesh soon. It's getting bad. Haven's Life Group LC, King Armstrong, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know if you got any questions about the sheet I got cooking. I'm gonna grab my inflate brush and just come around a little bit. Yeah, now it's kind of faked. Like this shape is tucking in underneath these other shapes. I'm really running out of geometry to do this, so it definitely is gonna be a remeshing. It's gonna be a little remeshing moment here soon. Because I'm starting to get to a point where I can't get it to behave the way I want it to at all. I'm gonna at least pull this curve around. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pull this curve around. Whoa, 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 whoa. Chill the fuck out. Yeah, like, I mean, look at that. Those quads are stretched. They're looking bad, which means it is time for a remesh for sure. I keep saying that and then not doing it. I want it to just work without it. But I think I might be SOL, especially I need to start to smooth this curve out, and I'm guessing it's not going to like it at all. Yeah, you can see it's just completely decimating that. I'm going to turn this brush down really small and see if I can just get some of that taper a little bit better before I remesh. One of the undead fruit. Hello, hello. Let me know if you got any questions. Always smile. Oh, I appreciate the follow. Thank you. Always smile. You're my hero. The GOAT, absolute best. I appreciate that more than you know. Jonathan, Finesca, Milton, Billy Banana, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all popping your heads in for a spell. Go ahead, smooth this out. Alright, yep, definitely is time for a remesh. I'm gonna get this so it's all one nice piece. And then I'll remesh the shit. Wow, we're so close. We are so close. Alright. I'm gonna save. Ooh, why'd this draw menu pop up? How the fuck did that happen? I'm gonna hit save. Save as, just to make sure it's saved when I thought it did. Yeah, 444. Shout out Jay-Z. God dang, we're close. I'm really excited to be done with this fucking hair. I'm so thrilled to be almost done with this. Okay, getting distracted. I have to remesh. So I'm gonna hit my Alt S, pull up my little Z remesher menu, just keep all my settings the way I've had them this whole time. And now we wait. And now we wait. Looks like we got a couple people watching. Let me see if I got some weird stuff on my desk I can show off while we wait. The weirdest thing on the desk, I gotta wait until I get that tiny gift. That's the goal. But for now, we got some Ichiraku ramen. The weirdest thing on the desk, I gotta wait until I get that tiny gift. That's the goal. But for now, let's see. It's still not done. Let's wait for this frickin' remesh to finish up. We got a bag of sensu beans for all my wounded warriors out there. And Majin Buu or Cell or whoever. Let's see what else we got. We got Link. Kya, 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 kya. What else? What else we got on my desk? What other weird shit we got on my desk while we wait for this stupid program to load? We've got a little 1-up mushroom. Y'all just gained an extra life. Congratulations. Mad Socket Wakazi. Oh, we're done. We're done showing off the weird shit on the desk. Because this has finished remeshing. And now I can go back in and keep on sculpting on. Raven Sad, I see you popped in. I appreciate you. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Any art questions, sculpting questions, drawing questions. Questions about life in Georgia. Questions about life in Wyoming. Or, if not, I just appreciate you popping in, watching for a spell. It's nice. Alright. Oh yeah, you can see all this is just behaving way more kindly to me. It's all way nicer to sculpt on now. Very good, very good. This is always the hardest part. I've been working in from the edges, and now I gotta figure out how this puzzle's gonna snap together. Corsario, welcome to the stream. JCD, welcome. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. I wonder if I kind of all want the hair to flow the same way. It's kind of doing it already, where all the little curls at the end are all pointing towards the right. So maybe I just make that a little bit more intentional. And we'll pull another strand down, and I can just use that to kind of figure out what my next main form is going to be. I should really only need 2, maybe 3 more big forms to really pull this off. So we'll see. We'll see what those end up looking like. I'm kind of just figuring out what the hair wants to do, more than telling it how it should be, you know? I think this can follow this curve really tight, actually. So it's just gonna follow that curve that's already there, and then maybe these two shapes join up and end. Terminate right in there. And we'll see. That might not work as well as I want it to, but My gut tells me that it will. So we'll just see what we can do here. Obviously, this is gonna have to get more inflated. You can also see this geometry is like pretty much broken again. And my remeshes are definitely gonna be like getting closer and closer and closer. I am still working on a low subdiv level, so maybe I'll just add a layer of subdivisions before I go ahead and remesh. Yeah, and you can see that got it behaving a little bit better. At least got it to the point where I can sculpt on it again. I don't know for sure where I want to go from here. It's so close. It's so close. I can almost taste it. Hours upon hours upon hours of this frickin' hair finally coming to fruition. Whoops. Psych, that's the wrong brush. I can maybe try to dig out that tube shape a little bit. I'm really starting to push it with my geometry. So I'm not certain that it's going to work the way I want it to. Ooh, where do these last two shapes go? Where do these last two shapes go? I don't know. It's like a little puzzle. What up, Ken? Welcome to the stream. We're just doing some 3D modeling and animation. Ken, Richard, Alex, Jazzy, everybody popping in. I appreciate y'all. If you got any 3D sculpting, any animation or game dev questions, let me know. Let's see here. I think we'll definitely want at least one more big strand of hair. That's something. This is ZBrush, actually. Appreciate the hearts, man. Not Blender. I do like Blender, especially for like hard surface modeling. I think Blender is a really, really great hard surface modeling program. And it's like generative texture. And it's like but for organic modeling, man, ZBrush is where it's at. ZBrush is the best. But I'll end up using so many different programs in my workflow. Start in ZBrush, UV in Maya or Rhizome or something, texture in Substance Painter, render in Marmoset. Or actually, you know what? Blender's got some pretty good rendering. I don't want to shit on Blender's rendering. Best place to render though, for sure, Unreal Engine. Not even a competition. Unreal Engine is absolutely the shit for lighting and rendering. Alright, how can I get this last shape to blend in with everything else and be done with this godforsaken hair? I wonder, maybe I make this piece pop out a little bit. Can kind of point into that hollowed out shape right there. Something more like that, and I'll dig it out with the... Good luck. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. If you want to see lots more game dev and animation shenanigans, throw me a follow. If not, I appreciate you popping in, asking some questions. That's nice. That's nice. That's the shit us little teeny tiny streamers live for. The Ob 1995, welcome to the stream. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. Yeah, I'll have to fix the curves on these a little bit, obviously. And I can pull this shape a little further out, but I do think that's more or less the shape we're gonna want. You can see that geometry is just absolutely disgusting, just abhorrent right now. So I'm definitely coming up on another remesh, unfortunately. Yeah, this is starting to get to the point where I can't even sculpt on it. And I'm already almost at 1,000,000 quads. So I think I'll have no choice but to remesh. I can dig out the bottom. Still looks like I can get away with that. Get away with that a little bit. And you know what? I'm gonna smooth this out. Just get rid of it completely. Oscar Camacho, welcome. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. And I'm gonna make this curve around that piece. And maybe come to a point up in here. Oh, this is getting like completely unsculptable at this point. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a remesh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The good news is that this might be our last remesh, because we're pretty much done. Yeah, I think this is gonna be my last. I think it's gonna be my last shape. I think I can end this in a little whirly right in there. Maybe have a little part that pokes out a little bit right there. But that, yeah, that more or less is gonna be the finished shape of the hair, which is really exciting. Really, really exciting stuff. All right. I'm just gonna kind of inflate that out a little bit if I can. Yeah, I think this is as far as I'm gonna be able to push this geometry without adding another layer of subdivisions or remeshing. Yeah, that is more or less what that hair is gonna look like. This is atrocious, but that's like where all the broken geometry is. So after I remesh, this is gonna be a lot easier to fix. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. All right. Yeah, I see some of y'all popping in who have usernames that I can't pronounce, or just like don't have any characters on them. But welcome, hello. Alex, too sober. Tell me your secrets. How you stay too sober? All right. Yeah, let's remesh this, and then we're gonna take a pass where I just like go through and fix these main forms. And then we'll do a detail pass. But we're almost there. We fucking did it, y'all. We fucking did it. Alright, Alt S, Z remesh. Oh, we have ads playing in the background. Get the fuck out of here, ads. Now we wait. And now we wait for the remeshing to finish. If y'all want to ask me any crazy questions, now's the best time, because I gotta wait for this program to load. So if y'all want to ask me any of that nasty unhinged shit, let me know. Let me know. Move this camera down. Ah. Damn, this is taking forever. Please don't crash. I really should have saved before I did this. Oh, it did not crash. Alright. But why? Look how bad it made that geometry. Why? I'm going to, in that case, if it's going to do me dirty like that, I'm going to dig this way out before I remesh so it doesn't try to hoe me right there. Let me make sure there's nowhere else I got that nasty BS happening. This all gets really bad, but it should have no problem at all remeshing that. It's like a very distinct form. Yeah, okay, and God, if I could get rid of that a little bit, that would help. Help the remesher do its thing. The software just needs to know like what the major forms are. No weird overlapping or anything, and it should remesh really nice. Alright, let's try this again. Let's see if we can remesh this without getting that disgusting nonsense that happened up in here. I'm going to go ahead and just hit save next real quick, and then I'll hit save as to make sure it's saved properly. It sure did. So I'm going to go ahead, hit Alt S, and hit Z remesh. Keep it the same number of polygons to shoot for, and we should be good. We should be good. It's just gonna take forever. Just gonna take forever. We just gotta wait for it to remesh. So unstable video connection. Y'all, I'm just waiting for my sculpt to remesh right now. Good chance to ask me questions. If you want to ask any questions, anybody just joining in, we just waiting for the program to load. So please hit me with your questions. Any animation, any game dev questions, anything you want to know about what I got going on. I'm always happy to answer them. What up, Vel? What up, Charles? What up, Madison? What up, I Eat Bombs? Everybody joining in. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. SPD, thank you for the follow. My hero, I appreciate that shit. I appreciate that shit a lot. That's what we're here for. Little Miss Dragon Puppets, let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. I appreciate you hopping on. Yeah, I think this fixed it to the point where I can start to fix these pieces. All right. Alright, y'all, well, this has been a 2-hour stream already, and I'm finished blocking out the hair. I really gotta finish this sculpt, like, by the end of the weekend, so I'm probably gonna hop off for a little bit, and then I'll come back on later and show you all how I'm gonna do my detail pass on the hair, and then after I do the detail pass on the hair, and do a quick pass on these eyelids, I think at that point, I'm going to go ahead, combine everything together, take this head, throw it back. Oh, Throat Stroker, thanks for the follow. Let's go. Brr, 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 brr. Appreciate you, man. Darren Milan, welcome to the stream. Let me know if you got any animation or game dev questions. I appreciate the support, y'all. Happy to talk about anything y'all want to talk about. Just let me know. Just let me know. But yeah, I'm coming up. I'm rapidly approaching 2.5 hours on this stream, so I think I'm getting to the point where I gotta hop off, and I'll be back on later. As I was saying, I'll do details on the hair. I'll fix the eyebrow or the eyelids, and then after I do that stuff, and after I put these together, get it on the next head. At that point, I can go ahead and detail the face. So I'll start adding in like. I'll just show you. I mean, I'm gonna undo it, but I'll start adding in like laugh lines. That's terrible. And like wrinkles on the head, and like just I'm just gonna really start pushing all the wrinkles and eyebrows and everything to make this face actually look like it's screaming. Because right now this face is at like a ah, and I need it at like a ah. So it's gonna take a while to sculpt it into the point where I want it. Lenny, I see you hanging out. I appreciate you popping by. Let me know if you have any last minute animation or game dev questions before I hop off this stream. I will be back on later tonight finishing the hair. and just finishing the rest of the sculpt. I will say, those of y'all watching right now, I might as well, before I hop off, show y'all the finished sculpt that this is going to go on. So this head is going to go on this body, on this really scary sort of horror movie Conjuring nun themed little sculpt I got going, and this is all going to be one big toy when I finish, which is pretty fun, pretty exciting. So yeah, but yeah, the next step will just be detailing the hair, and I'll be back on doing that later tonight. Those of y'all who have made it with me to this point, I appreciate it more than you could know. If you liked the stream, if you like animation, you like game dev, comic books, anything like that, please make sure you give me a follow before you hop off. And yeah, that's it for me today. I'll be back on tonight to finish up this sculpt. Peace, love, and gratitude. I will see y'all in a bit. Goodbye. Already friends with Mochi Mochi. Oh, I gotta stop my other stream too. Yeah, you know what? Twitch, YouTube, one last time. Big shout out to the boy Element. I just be playing his shit on repeat. I'm so obsessed with this guy. I got a few people, listen y'all, and I don't want to piss off anybody else that follows me, but I got a few people who give me the permission to use their music on my streams, and I always come back to Element. I just think it's like the perfect vibe for what I'm doing. And I love this guy a lot. I love this guy like a brother. So please show him support. Please show him support. Alright, y'all. That's it from me. For real, I'm going to go ahead